boots? Check. Get your back-to-school shopping done now at Amazon.com/back-to-school and enjoy free shipping on millions of items. No need to leave your home or hassle with crowds. Amazon.com. No better place to get everything back to school from A to Z.
NBC News Radio, I'm Angela Anderson. President Donald Trump does not plan to try to weaken sanctions on Russia.
Sanctions on Russia will remain as is.
Trump has strongly rejected criticism that he was not tough enough on Russian President Vladimir Putin at their recent summit in Helsinki. He often argues that no president has ever been tougher on Russia than he. The felony trial of former Trump campaign chief Paul Manafort begins tomorrow in Alexandria, Virginia. Manafort has pleaded not guilty to numerous charges of bank and tax fraud and failure to file reports on foreign financial accounts. The operators of the duck boat that sank earlier this month in Branson, Missouri, killing 17, now facing a $100 million wrongful death lawsuit. Attorney Bob Mongluzzi claims the canopy of the boat trapped those on board.
You are dead if you do, you are dead if you don't, you're drowned if you do, you're drowned if you don't.
Multiple companies named in the suit of being aware of the dangers of the vehicles but doing nothing about it. Angela Anderson, NBC News Radio.
Hey guys, this is Andrew Caravella. Just wanted to let you know that KCAA has a new listener line for all of you that have a phone. Now you can listen to KCAA in the grocery store, in the doctor's office, or when you want to pretend you're on the phone with someone just so that creeper will leave you alone. Call 720-835-3099 today and listen to your favorite KCAA radio shows. That number again, 720-835-3099. KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no caller or listener behind.
Pain Solutions Medical Massage is gearing up for their grand reopening. Join KCAA in welcoming Pain Solutions, moving forward in a new direction. Fries galore will be on hand serving food. Get exclusive discounts. Try out the free massage chair and free raffle prizes. Pain Solutions grand reopening Sunday, August 19th at 501 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands, starting at 2 p.m. For more information, call 909-347-0330. Pain Solutions re-grand opening August 19th. Check out their website at painsolutions.us.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
The views of the following show are not necessarily the views of broadcast management or its owner, Fred Lundgren. But then again, the views of broadcast management are, well, different. And now it's time for On the Mark Live with host Mark Westwood. Finally, a show about KCAA. Hot topics, a little locomotion, current events, news, laugh, reviews, and a little irreverence. And you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And good afternoon to you. I'm Mark Westwood, your host of On the Mark today. And today I am in good company. First of all, I want to say it's nice to have a little cooler temperatures today. Just a little cooler, just a little bit. We're hoping for better, cooler weather, especially if you're out there on that 10 freeway. And I wish I could apologize for Caltrans. I don't know what Caltrans is doing if you're on the 10 freeway through Redlands and Yucaipa. We're trying to find that out, and I'll find that out at the break, and we'll talk more about that. But they've got lanes. They're taking away lanes from us, and we're down to 3 lanes now, and there's this big lane going up through the middle. So if you're going out that way and you're planning a trip, give yourself a little extra time, because you will be surprised, like many people are being surprised right now, and it's bumper-to-bumper traffic there most times of the day. So we're looking for some information, some answers on that, and at the second part of our show, we will get to that information. Just be careful now and drive safely, stay patient. Weather's a little cooler. And as I said, now we are in good company. Today, the second part of our show, we're going to be talking about pickleball. What is pickleball? Well, I'm not going to tell you now because you got to stay tuned. You've got to listen to find out what pickleball is about. But we will be talking about pickleball and a great facility over in Redlands called Pain Solutions Medical Massage with none other than my favorite massage therapist. There we go. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Massage therapist, Dante Luc La Madrid. And that's kind of cool to have Dante here and his friend here. We'll talk about that. And the first part of the show, we kind of map this in because we have a special guest, Aspen Sullivan, along with Karen DiCarlo from Santa Claus Inc. And Aspen says that she is a massage therapist or a former massage therapist.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So we got some synergy going on here. We got some working hands in the room today. So welcome to Karen DiCarlo. Hello, Karen.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Good.
And welcome to Aspen.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you for being here. And they do an awesome job every year at this Santa Claus Incorporated. Let me tell you, it's a group that specializes in critical services to youth in the Inland Empire, not just at Christmas time, right?
Right.
But all the time, all throughout the year. And they also have a little, I think it's a subsidiary group. Is that maybe what I should say? Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. We have yes.
Youth Enrichment Services. That's what that stands for.
Those are our year-round services.
Right. And some awesome things like adopting schools, birthday in a bag, Christmas distribution, all kinds of stuff we'll talk about.
Okay.
And we'll talk about your main purpose. And then if some of you, like myself and some of our station staff members, have been lucky enough, they have a soiree at the end of the year to raise a lot of money from a lot of great, generous people at the National Orange Show. I don't know if they're doing that this year. Are you going to do it this year again?
Yes, that's actually hosted by Friends of Santa Claus, Inc.
That's hosted by Friends of Santa Claus, Inc. So sorting all this out, there's so many good people, so many good working hands here, and trying to figure it out and who does what is just an amazing thing. So first of all, Karen has been doing this and has been up to this for how many years?
A lot.
A lot? Plenty. Let's just say plenty. Let's say she's been very generous with her time and her efforts to help our youth in the area.
Thank you.
And Aspen is brand new.
Yes.
But Aspen, you're part of a good group. You're part of a good group. And it's a very worthwhile cause. So let's talk about some of the main things. What is the main message you'd like to talk about Santa Claus Incorporated?
The main message about Santa Claus Incorporated is that we are not just a Christmas organization. We are a year-round service organization serving over 100,000 underprivileged kids each year through our various programs that fall under the umbrella of YES.
Well, very good. And under the umbrella of YES is they assist over 100,000 children. She's being a little bit, how do you say that? What's the word I'm looking for? Humble.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot to brag about. You do have a lot to brag about. 100,000 children throughout the year in the most impoverished communities in ways that you can't even count. They help in donor gathering and distribution. They've partnered with Amazon and Mattel and FedEx. But not just the big major companies. There's a lot of people who donate throughout the year and help throughout the year. I know that we were sitting next to the San Manuel Tribe of Mission Indians at our table last year, and they donate a little bit, I bet.
They're wonderful supporters, as are so many others. But we can always use more.
That's right. Get a name drop just a little bit for San Manuel, by the way. They're starting a new hotel, 14-story hotel. I was at their not their grand opening, their groundbreaking. They're groundbreaking.
Yes.
It's called Yamava. And quite the deal, 14-story hotel, 400 rooms. It's going to be a big boon to the area.
Congratulations to San Manuel.
So they need to even dig deeper now and to help, get the good community will through helping Santa Claus.
They dig very deep. They're wonderful partners of, I think, so many of us.
Right. And I'm a member of the Native Sons of the Golden West. I'm actually president of that. We didn't donate as nearly probably as much as San Manuel or FedEx or Amazon. Well, we still dig deep, and we help out.
Yes, you do.
And we are there every year, and we're going to be there this year for you again.
You know, we appreciate it. Every bit helps.
And they do some things I mentioned, not just volunteering, because they have seasonal volunteers, of course, but they do all year-round distribution of things. And, the Christmas distribution, they provided 16,497 children in 2016.
Yes, that's Christmas distribution is our signature program. That's how we started in 1952 with about 1,000 kids.
1,000. You moved up from there.
We moved up over the years and continued with our Christmas distribution until we started Yes. We still do Christmas distribution. It now falls under the Yes umbrella as one of our major programs.
Wow. I'm looking at your brochure here. Is this a local mayor that's volunteering here? No, I don't know. I might be looking at the wrong person. Okay.
No, that's one of our regular volunteers.
Okay, but it looks an awful lot like Aquanetta Warren.
She does.
And, they've got young people, old people, seniors, people with just big hearts. That's what you have.
A lot of people with big hearts.
Yes. And Birthday in a Bag. Tell us about that program.
Birthday in a Bag is our fastest growing program. We provide a large... It's actually a custom-made pillowcase, either for a male or a female, and these bags are provided through other nonprofits and schools, county agencies, to children who would not ordinarily get to celebrate their birthdays.
I know, and isn't that such something?
It's really,
we
really
don't think
sad.
About things like that.
You don't, and we see it all the time, and as I say, it's really catching on. They're probably doing 60 to 75 birthday bags every month now.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
Something I just took for granted. I knew that every year on June 24th, my mama had a birthday cake. Sometimes she couldn't bake really well, so sometimes the cake was a little lopsided, but she did it anyway. She did it anyway, and she always tried to decorate it nicely. And happy birthday, Mom. Anyway, we just tease her about it. We used to tease her about her baking, but she did it anyway with love, and we certainly loved having those cakes. And that was just without fail. We didn't think about even that there wouldn't be a birthday or a birthday party or birthday gifts.
No, there are children who never get to celebrate a birthday, and this may be we give a cake mix and a cake pan and frosting. It may be the first time they've ever celebrated a birthday.
Wow, incredible. 60 to 70 birthdays every year, and a little birthday in a bag kit, and what a great idea. What a great idea. And it does change lives and gives people a better outlook on life, especially. Can't imagine being a little kid thinking you're 10 years old and it's my birthday, and little Jimmy down the street got a birthday party, but I'm probably not going to get one. So that's a very, very important thing to do.
It is important. It's just a small thing that we can do for the children, but it's a wonderful thing to do. So.
And then you get involved a little bit with the foster program and these duffel bags.
We get involved in a big way with foster programs through all of the major hospitals.
Yeah, excuse me, you don't do anything in a little way.
No, nothing in a little way. A big way.
A big way, that's right.
Our foster program is by referral. Mm-hmm. And we provide everything that child needs that's been taken out of their home by CPS in many cases. The kids are scared. They don't know who's taking them and where they're going. And they leave with little to nothing.
Yeah, I know. We had a foster care program all about foster children and foster care. Quite the program for a couple of years. And one of the things that the lady that hosted always said was these children would be given a trash bag to put all their worldly belongings in. How would you feel if that's what your value is a trash bag, put your stuff in it, we're getting going? So that's
it's sad, and our bags are custom made by we have professional seamstresses at Santa Claus. They're beautiful bags. They're drawstring. They have grommets on the bottom. They have a tag on them and a big zipper. So they're really fantastic bags, and they're not only used for foster kids, but they're used as camp bags for kid, like YMCA camps, Salvation Army camps, for kids who can't afford to have sunscreen and beach towels and the stuff to take to camp. So we fill the bags with camp supplies for kids too.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's why you call it Youth Enrichment Services. Yes.
Yes.
And it does really make life a lot better for a lot of young people. And today's youth kind of are losing out. They're on the short end of the stick with a lot of things. They get some other things that are real good. Sometimes they have their little widget electronic toys, kind of they hang on to, but just the basics. Sometimes they come short on roofs over their heads, a place to sleep, the same place to sleep. There's a statistic. I talked with the Youth Hope.
Yes.
Yeah, Youth Hope over in Redlands. They have a little place over here, and there was a statistic. They have over 1,500 homeless kids in the Redlands Unified School District program. 1,500. Yes. That's Redlands, so you can only imagine what San Bernardino has, or Highland, or whatever. And they may not be on the street, with the campfire, like the king of the road kind of a thing. But they're couch surfing. And
yeah, there's different levels of homelessness. There are kids that are actually out in encampments or living in cars. There are kids who are living in motels, and there's many of those in San Bernardino. And there are also kids who are living in maybe a 1 or 2 bedroom house with 7 or 8 families, and the kids have to sleep on the floor in a bathtub. So there's different, but they're all considered to be homeless,
right?
And they're all very needy.
And that's why it's so very, very important to support groups like Santa Claus Incorporated. And let's talk about that. You're driving down the road right now. You've heard this. Maybe you've heard some things you've never thought about. Maybe you've heard, wow, I had no idea there are that many homeless children just in the Redlands Unified School District or other school districts. Or there are kids that don't get birthdays. Or there are kids that are, being moved around with trash bags. How do they help? Where do they go?
Well, they can go on our website, SantaClausInc.com. They can call 909-885-0090.
909-885-0090.
And someone will get back to them. Or they can Facebook us at Santa Claus Incorporated.
That's Facebook. And what was that website again?
It's SantaClausInc.com.
SantaClausInc.com. And we'll give you those again at the end of the segment here, because I want to talk with Amber a little bit.
Aspen.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I really apologize. You know how many names I have to remember all the time. It's really tough.
I can't imagine.
And your amazing beauty just kind of makes me kind of I'm married, Anyway, so tell us, you have a new job here. How long have you been working for Santa Claus Incorporated?
2 weeks.
Wow, you are a newbie. Yeah, okay.
It's such an honor.
Okay.
As I was telling colleagues in the Redlands area that I interviewed with Santa Claus Inc., an overwhelming response of positive, they're a great nonprofit. They do so much in the area. So
there's an amazing amount of positivity and good feelings and relations in this community for Santa Claus Incorporated and for Yes. Your job is going to be able to organize all those and get those streamed in the proper fashion. And that's not going to be easy, I don't think. It's going to be difficult because you got to know where to go and how long to spend, and how do you hone those things in,
it's genuine, so I don't think it's that calculated. I think I just get the job of spreading the message of this wonderful nonprofit in the area, and I think
collect it all.
Yeah, I think it sells itself, if you can even say that. I think it's important to bring the awareness to the community because, like you said, 1,500 students in the Redlands area was a kind of a shock to you about, and boy, go to San Bernardino and the surrounding areas, and it is
the bigger the city.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily speak about the city. It just speaks about society and apartment rents being, we visited a new apartment community over here that just built, beautiful apartment community, but it's not that special. But the apartments start at $1,700 a month.
Whoa.
I'm like, whoa, that's a joke. That's for like a 720 square foot apartment. And, you have a family and they have to have homes. And those homes are now starting at $22,000, $23,000, $25,000, $3,000 a month for just a modest, modest home of maybe 1,600 square feet. So the parents have to do that, and then there's all these expenses. And now, when I was in high school marching band, I just got my uniform on that was provided for me, and my little band instrument that was provided for me, and I got on the bus that was provided for me, and we went to the parades, and I didn't have to pay a thing ever. And that's because I'm old, and that was a long time ago. But when I entered community college at San Bernardino Valley College, my registration fee at San Bernardino Valley College, you ready for this? $11.50. I'm not really that old, but that's before all the things started to happen and money went this way and that way and all whatever. But yeah, it was just a health registration fee at the time.
Wow.
Now I think it's probably you're paying about $600 a semester at Valley College alone. Cal State, it's astronomical if you can even get in. It's so impacted, but youth has so many challenges. So it's so good to have advocates like Santa Claus Incorporated, and yes, on their side.
Yes, and we just did a school distribution, and it's just amazing the cost of just even grade school. They have to purchase their own crayons, their own notebooks, everything. Mm-hmm. So not just like you said, your band uniform and instrument was provided for you, but imagine having to buy that pencil and your parents can't afford to put shoes on your feet. Those are the kind of children that we're serving and families that we're serving.
Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important. So that's why, folks, pull over the road right now, stop traffic right in the freeway, because you need to do this, okay? And if you need to, you can contact us, and we'll give you this information, and we're going to put together little promos and stuff for you, too.
Thank you.
But you can call. It's real simple. In San Bernardino, it's a San Bernardino number, 885-0090. 885-0090. Or on Facebook, just type in the search bar Santa Claus Incorporated. Mm-hmm. Santa Claus Incorporated. And then on the website, it's SantaClausInc.com. SantaClausInc.com. And a little plug for Karen and Don DiCarlo. They've been around for a long, long time. And are you living up in Big Bear at the moment, or is that just a place you have up there?
No, we live down here. We're up there on weekends, every weekend.
Oh, okay.
For 20 years.
For 20 years,
yeah.
Huh? Yeah, beautiful place.
Thank you.
Golden Bear Cottages up there. It's in Big Bear Lake.
Yes, it's at Boulder Bay.
So Boulder Bay. So you turn right as you get up to Big Bear.
When you get, after you go over the dam. Yeah.
After you go over the dam. And then, Golden Bear Lake and Golden Bear Cottages, and that's Karen and Don DiCarlo's little operation up there. Nice. I've stayed up there. It's actually very nice.
Thank you.
I stayed in one of the rooms with a jacuzzi in it. It was nice, and a fireplace.
Come again.
Yeah, I will sometime. And, we want to plug you to help you, because if we help you, then you're stronger to help other people.
Thank you.
And that's why we do that. And that's, we used to play Golden Bear Cottages here. Maybe we'll bring them back sometime and do some more work with them. But that's why we're going to play them at the break here in just a minute, Golden Bear Cottages. And we thank you very, very much for being with us. Is there anything more you would like to say? Have I not covered, or have we covered most of it?
Yeah, I think we have. I don't know. We always need ongoing support from our communities, and we appreciate all the wonderful volunteers, the donors, and everybody that come together to help us.
Well, we will put announcements on starting now. We don't want to wait till Christmas. We'll start now.
Thank you.
On KQLH 92.5, which is our sister associate station. It plays oldies out in Yucaipa and Calamasa in that area.
Awesome.
And then on 102.3, 106.5, and 1050 AM KCAA. We've been speaking with the delightful two ladies, Aspen Sullivan and Karen DiCarlo. I see I got your name right. I got it right. From Santa Claus Incorporated, and YES, which is Youth Enrichment Services. And they do such a great job, and we thank you. On behalf of everybody, we say thank you. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll have you back on again maybe sometime in the near future or towards Christmas or whenever, and we'll interview some more. So thank you very much to Santa Claus Incorporated, and yes, we'll be back right after these messages with the answer to what is pickleball. On the Mark, I'm Mark Westwood.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm John Rogers. This afternoon, mostly sunny, high of 99. Partly cloudy tonight, expect an overnight low 72. Tuesday, again, a lot of sunshine in the forecast, a high of 101. Tuesday evening, partly cloudy, overnight low 73. I'm John Rogers, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center at the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California. KCAA, 102.3 FM Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and The Legacy, 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Pain Solutions Medical Massage is gearing up for their grand reopening. Join KCAA in welcoming Pain Solutions, moving forward in a new direction. Fries Galore will be on hand serving food. Get exclusive discounts. Try out the free massage chair and free raffle prizes. Pain Solutions grand reopening Sunday, August 19th at 501 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands, starting at 2 p.m. For more information, call 909-347-0330. Pain Solutions re-grand opening August 19th. Check out their website at painsolutions.us.
Erin here from On the Brink Morning Show, where we talk about all that is engaging in the Inland Empire. News, politics, business, family, things to do, and so much more. Join us weekdays from 6 to 7 a.m. on KCAA 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, and 1050 a.m. or on KCAAradio.com.
If you're looking for a full or part-time sales position and you have radio, TV, or print media experience, KCAA has a great opportunity waiting for you that pays the highest commissions in the market. KCAA is the only station in the IE that broadcasts on 3 frequencies, so advertisers receive 3 ads for 1 low rate. This makes KCAA a must-buy for every local business. If you're interested in a sales position with us, email CEO@KCAAradio.com.
Hey guys, this is Andrew Caravella. Just wanted to let you know that KCAA has a new listener line for all of you that have a phone. Now you can listen to KCAA in the grocery store, in the doctor's office, or when you want to pretend you're on the phone with someone just so that creeper will leave you alone. Call 720-835-3099 today and listen to your favorite KCAA radio shows. That number again, 720-835-3099. KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no caller or listener behind.
And now it's time to batten down the hatches, because here comes more of Mark Westwood and On the Mark Live. 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And we're back in the second part of our show. Thank you to Karen DiCarlo and Aspen Sullivan for being here and talking about a wonderful program, Santa Claus Incorporated, Santa Claus Inc., as they're known, and yes, the Youth Enrichment Services. And oh my gosh, what a great group that is, and it was such a pleasure and honor to have them. And now we're going to continue on now with a good friend of mine, and full disclosure, this is my massage therapist, Dante Luc La Madrid, who does such a great job. Welcome, Dante.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Yes, and he is also here with Dr. Ernie Medina, Jr.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Mark.
Hi, nice to meet you, too. And he, formerly of the Beaver Medical Clinic for 21 years, but now is with Loma Linda School of Public Health. Very active in the community, teaches classes on smoking, cessation, it means stopping smoking, health and lifestyle. His real passion is exercising evangelism, exercise evangelism, teaching youth and adults to stay active through fun activities such as mountain biking, hiking, and his latest addiction, and we're going to get the answer soon. I love the sound of this, pickleball. Pickleball. No, they're not batting pickles around or cucumbers, but which, of course, he has received his nickname now. Some people think he's retired. The Pickleball Ninja. The Pickleball Ninja. And, of course, Dante would bring me such a great guest like this. And I was hoping, everybody asked today, by the way, Dante, is he bringing his guitar with him?
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't know. I should have told him to bring his guitar.
Oh, not today. But we'll get one. I'll bring it next time.
You'll have to bring it next time. See how he does that? He gets another time on my show that way.
That's right.
Dante is an incredible composer and arranger and performer of
thank you.
Fun songs. That's just kind of the way. It's like Jack Johnson and,
sure.
a little bit of Train in there.
Yeah.
And, and they're fun. They're
definitely.
just fun stuff. Happy-go-lucky, half-hearted, Yeah. I might have to have you sing a cappella one of them. I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
come on, Dante. We'll see how it goes.
Do it. But he is from a company that I met when they were still here in our shopping center.
That's right.
They moved recently over to Redlands Boulevard, 801, is it?
501.
501, like the jeans. 501
That's
Redlands
right.
Boulevard.
Exactly.
501 Redlands Boulevard. It's called Pain Solutions Medical Massage, and they're having their grand reopening. And this wonderful flyer I see, and I think it's from his wedding.
Yeah, the photo is from my wedding. So
see, I know him well enough to know those wedding pictures.
Yep.
And they're all walking away there, but they had a kind of a cool wedding at this house and everything. Well, Plain Solutions is moving. They've moved forward in a new direction, and they're not looking back, as they say. And they're excited to share their new location with you, even though they're not right next door to me. I make my way over there. It's not far from here at all.
Not too far.
Maybe about 5 minutes away. And they've got all kinds of things. They're going to have their grand reopening. What's the date?
The date is Sunday, August 19th. It will be from 2 to 5. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're really excited that we got Fries Galore food truck to come out. If you haven't had Fries Galore, you need to try their churro fries.
Churro fries.
Churro fries, yeah.
Sounds incredibly fattening, something I shouldn't have. But you got to break loose once in a while.
Yeah,
That's
once
my
in a
problem.
while.
My once in a while is too many times, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, if you haven't heard of them, check them out on www.friesgalore14.com. You can see the full menu, but we're excited to have them, and we're having our very own Mark Westwood as our live radio DJ on site. So don't miss it. It's going to be fun.
I'm going to bring the karaoke with me, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
So we're going to have you out there singing. Hopefully we have cool temperatures.
Yeah. We have lots of shade, though.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
be
hoping
okay.
to be under the little breezeway thing right there.
Yes.
Now, you've alerted the sushi restaurant, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they are not open on Sundays.
Well, that's kind of good for us.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Because they might get upset with us taking all their parking.
Right.
And they might throw sushi at us.
Well, just hold your mouth open.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll be there.
I'll take the California spring roll. I'm not a big sushi eater, but I like my food generally cooked. 2 to 5 p.m. on Sunday, August 19th, 501, just like the jeans, Redlands Boulevard, Suite G. See, I'm a marketing kind of guy, so I get those hooks in there all the time.
Oh.
So, now everybody's going to remember your address by
That's right.
501, just like the jeans.
That's us.
Redlands Boulevard.
Don't
Be
forget.
shy about using that hook. Because
I'm going to have to steal that from you.
Yeah, that's right. Levi's is going to just be out of luck. They're not really copyrighted that. But 501 is just like the jeans, Redlands Boulevard. Suite G is in great, good, wonderful massage. And let me tell you, I'm going to do a testimonial here now, ladies and gentlemen. You go in. He's got this nice, relaxing jazz music on for me. It's all professional. And, there's subdued lighting. And then Dante goes to work on you. And he just... Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes?
But you feel...
Hurts so good.
Hurts so good. That's right. When you come out of there, you are a much better person. You feel so much better. And every once in a while, you have to pamper yourself.
Right.
You have to pamper yourself.
Got to take care of your number one.
That's right. So if you go over to this grand opening, and you're going to hear me sing, I will sing. And Dante will sing, and other people will sing, and we'll have music going, and we'll have all kinds of fun stuff there. They've got raffle prizes and exclusive discounts. Exclusive. I like that word, exclusive. And then, me, a live radio DJ, will be calling in a little bit here on KCAA for you.
Yeah.
And food and fries galore food truck. I mean, every time you mention a food truck, number one, it's going to be unhealthy, but it's going to be good. And there's going to be a lot of it. And, that's going to be good. And, of course, that's a no-host kind of a thing, right?
Right.
Right. You got to put out some bucks for that. But, hey, it's worth it. There'll be, stuff for the children. And most importantly, there'll be free chair massages.
Free chair massage. Yeah. And actually, we have students coming out to do all the chair massages, and you don't have to pay a thing for it. Although, if you feel like it, you can tip the chair massage therapist. But yeah, they're doing just free 10-minute massages.
Now, I went over to a school over in Riverside that Dante teaches at.
That's right.
The name of that school, forgive me, because
it's called Brightwood College.
Brightwood College, and Dante teaches there, and he's got these massage students.
I do, yeah.
And I was a subject of their massages one time, and I got a little special treatment. Brandon, I had like 10 hands on me all at one time. It was just like, No, I had to be like, okay, I got to be cool about this, but this feels really good. How many of you have ever had 10 fingers on you? See, that's why you need to make friends with Dante Luke Madrid here, because,
I'm the guy to know.
But he had a fun class. And I'm sure that his students are coming back to support him and to support his thing and his Pain Solutions Medical Massage. And so they're going to be there, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Dante's a great teacher.
Oh, well, thank you.
And he's a great enthusiast of something called pickleball. So now we're going to get to it. Dr. Ernie?
Yes.
Do you mind if I just call you Dr.
Sure,
Ernie?
call me whatever you want. Pickleball ninja's fine.
Let's speak now to the pickleball ninja. Oh, ninja. What do they call those guys at the karate studios that are
the sensei?
The sensei.
The sensei?
Oh, pickleball sensei.
Yeah. I do teach a lot of pickleball.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us exactly for people driving to school down the road, and they're like, what
is
the heck is pickleball?
It's surprising. Pickleball's been around actually I remember the year it was created, 1965, because that's the year I was born. And so it's 53 years. It's been around 53 years. And it was created by some politicians, a congressman, and some others up at the island of Bainbridge Island off of Washington State. And it was made for kids. These guys created it for their kids. Their kids were bored, and so they invented this game. And the name came from there's a couple of stories, but the popular story is that the dog of the owner was named Pickles, and would go after the ball and chase the ball, and that's how it got pickleball. But they say the more accurate story is I guess there's in rowing, which I'm not big into rowing sport. There's a position called the pickle, and I don't know exactly what he does, but anyway, that's they say that's where the
that's where I thought it came from.
Is that what you thought?
You're in a pickle. That's a common term. You're in a pickle.
Oh, okay.
And I thought maybe there's a way you place somebody into a pickle. I didn't think it involved cucumbers.
No, has nothing to do with although taking pickle juice they say is really good for cramping. So if we're doing tournaments and you've been out there a long time, and you had a cramp, you could take pickle juice. And it's supposed to help with a cramp. I've never used it, but...
So are we going to have pickleball demonstrations at this grand opening? See, I'm just throwing this at you.
It's not a bad idea. We'd have to talk about it.
We could set up a small thing. Pickleball is like...
Pickleball on the roof. Yay! No, there's a liability waiting to happen. No, I don't think we'll do that. Okay.
Well, so pickleball is like ping pong. When you watch it, it looks like tennis because it's on a miniature court. Actually, the court's the size of a badminton court.
That's what Brandon said. That was Brandon's question, wasn't it, Brandon?
The size of the court?
No. What was the question you had? What was the difference between ping pong and pickleball? Okay, now we know.
Yeah, it's basically like playing ping pong on a court. When people try it for the first time, they think it's tennis because when they look at it from afar, it looks like tennis. You're hitting the ball over a net. But when you actually play it, it feels more like ping pong. So a lot of ping
real
pong.
Fast.
Yeah, it can be, or it can be actually real slow. Pickleball was designed for finesse and control and not power. The ball is a wiffle ball. So just like a ping pong ball, you can only hit it so fast.
So wiffle ball is a ball with holes in it.
The plastic ball with holes in it, right. The paddle is about the size of a racquetball paddle, but it's all solid. There are no strings or there's no rubber on it. And so you hit this, it's like a ping pong paddle without the rubber. And so you hit the ball back and forth over a net, basically. But it's really designed for finesse and control. Like the serve, for example, is underhand. So you serve it underhand versus overhand like a tennis serve. But all the rules are designed so that way it sort of neutralizes power.
So are there like penalty boxes for pickleball penalties? Or?
No.
So it's not like hockey. It's not that.
No. It's it's a great The reason why I really love it is because it's a great intergenerational sport. We'll have our youngest players. I've taught kids like 6 or 8 years old, all the way up to our oldest player at Loma Linda is 83 years old. My mom was the one that got me into it. She's back in Michigan, and she's 80 years old. And she's the one that introduced it to me. I grew up playing tennis from as a kid, and then racquetball and badminton and ping pong. But I'd never heard of pickleball all these years until I came out to here.
Sounds fun to say. Pickleball. I just want to say that all afternoon. Pickleball, pickleball, pickleball. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickleballs.
You'll have to come out and try it.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll have to set up a court there at the grand opening so you can try a little. We could play in a very, you don't have to set up a full court. We could set up, half the net or something, and you can actually just try it.
So now tell us about the court. Tell us about the dimensions of the court.
So it's the size of a badminton court, so it's 20 feet wide by 44 feet long. And so, we usually play doubles. So, you have 2 people on the court that's the width of 20 feet. So you can, it's a pretty, to give you an idea, on one tennis court, we have 4 pickleball courts set up.
So an easy up, just for reference, is like 12 feet.
Oh, okay, yeah, 12 feet or 10. Yeah, exactly. So it's basically 2 easy ups side by side.
Right. And then you have 4 easy ups.
Lengthwise.
And then you would have the size of a wiffle ball court.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So that's not very big.
No.
So the action's real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be. Yes. The better players, the higher you move up, it could go really slow, and then all of a sudden it go bang, 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 like that. So it's really fun.
I've seen some of the pros play at their tournaments, and I mean, I'm not a real pickleball player myself, but I just have appreciation for athleticism, and man, these guys are nuts.
He was our DJ at our. We've had 2 tournaments so far at Loma Linda. Had over 200 pickleball players there.
And you're a DJ too?
Oh yeah, he was our DJ at our very first tournament in January.
What do you need me for? I know you're going to be busy. Okay, and I'll support you any way I can, my friend Dante. Yeah, so you're going to have to DJ that day too. That's all there is to it. I know you're going to be. I know you're going to be into my system anyway. So you have pickleball tourneys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I started pickleball 2 years ago, summer of 2016. Came back from Michigan. Couldn't find pickleball here in the immediate Inland Empire area. It's in L.A. desert, the desert, Palm Springs, and all that. But we were sort of like a donut hole of no pickleball action here. And in the last 2 years, we've gone to from 8 people. I had bought my own portable net, and we set it up at Loma Linda, the Holder Crooks Park tennis court there. And we started with 8 people. And from that, now we probably have, I've lost track because we probably have several hundred people in this area, playing not only in Loma Linda, but also here in Redlands at the rec center. Mm-hmm. They play Friday mornings and Saturday mornings up at Yucaipa. They play at 7th Street, that pavilion, the shaded place. Mm-hmm. They play there Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, I believe, and also at some indoor center gym up at Yucaipa. So now we're playing at Crafton also. They actually teach pickleball at Crafton College now. I took the first class last fall semester.
So no wonder they call you the pickleball ninja.
Well,
everywhere you go,
learning,
pickleball springs.
Exactly.
Well, I've actually taught the class myself now out at La Sierra University in Riverside. So I've taught it there, but I took the class from Ralph Robago, who's the teacher up at Crafton College there. And so it's just exploded in the last 2 years here in the area.
So you could probably get some chalk.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have a net.
That's how we started. We started with just chalk. We have the big sidewalk chalk, and we would go on a tennis court, and we have tape measures, and we would just chalk it out. And then the portable net, a lot of us have portable nets, and we just set up these nets, and they're freestanding. So we've set it up in a cul-de-sac, in a parking lot, tennis courts, basketball courts, wherever there's a flat, hard surface, we could set up a net.
So now people are getting an idea about pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
Where would they find pickleball supplies?
They could get it online. There's a online store called pickleballcentral.com. But, I mean, if you go on Amazon, I think Big 5 is the only store locally here, right here in Redlands, that carries some pickleball equipment.
Yeah, it's about 2 blocks from here.
Yeah, right there.
Over there in Alabama,
so I know they have
Boulevard, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, what Ernie's doing is amazing. And it's so cool that basically him and his mom have popularized the sport in our area, but not only that, they've gotten a huge population of the community to get up and be active and just be excited about doing something every day on a regular basis. And that's really the point, is not just to get people to play pickleball specifically, but to get them moving. And it's so needed. And and really what I think, like he mentioned, was that it's intergenerational. So it's not just for young people. It's not just for, elderly people. It's for everybody. Everybody is playing this sport and getting a good amount of exercise from it.
That's the good thing, is you're getting active, you're getting moving.
And you're having fun.
And you're having fun.
That's the thing. It's not like, okay, I got to do my workout today, or I've got to go on the treadmill or whatever. I mean, it's fun. And we have people who get upset when it rains, the few times, or if there's a closure, and they're like, what? Wait, okay, where can we go? And they say people, I've never, in all the sports activities I've tried to get people involved in, this is the first sport that I've gotten involved in where people try for the first time and then they're addicted. They literally use that word. I'm addicted, to the point where that's how I got to know. Well, I think I knew Dante before I got into pickleball, but we have so many people now that overdo it, that they need help with massage or some injury prevention. We have pickleball elbow, those kinds of things. And so he keeps me playing because, I don't want to get pickleball elbow. So he works on my body and my hamstrings and my arm to keep me in shape, because we have some big tournaments coming up here in the next couple of months.
Oh, honorable pickleball ninja, Dr. Ernie Rivera. It's Rivera, right?
No, Medina.
Medina, Dr. Ernie Medina Jr. Who's the best pickleball player?
The best? Where in?
Do they have?
Oh yeah.
Do they have classifications like seniors, youth, young?
They have it by age, but they also have levels of skill. So a 5.0 player is considered a top level player. So they'll have pros or non-pros, but at the 5.0 level, and it goes all the way down to like 2.5, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's our pros here. The local, the pros that are closest here are like out in the desert. Morgan Evans, Marson, they're all out there. But they have a pro division.
And so it's not like with a wiffle ball you can power pickleball. Can't say it.
Well,
power pickleball play. I mean, it's only going to go so hard, right?
Right, exactly. And and that's the thing. I mean, we do recommend wearing eye protection, because when you see the game, if you go on YouTube and just Google pickleball, or not Google, search on YouTube, you'll see all kinds of tournaments and games on there. So you usually get like 7 feet away from the net on either side of the net. So you and I could be like 14 feet from each other, okay? And we could be hitting it. But if you hit up a ball that's a little bit high above the net, they could smash it on you, and we call that tagging. So you could get hit with that ball, and it'll sting. But if you do get hit in the eye, that might not be a good thing, to have a plastic ball being smacked right into your eyeball. So we do recommend wearing some kind of eye protection.
Yeah, and if you're 6 feet tall, you probably have an arm that reaches about 3.5 feet.
That's true.
And so two of you together, that's 6, and then you have
cover
a rack, and then
That's right. Yeah, you can cover a lot of space. That's true.
So I want to mention that the Drayson Center is hosting an event the weekend before my grand reopening on August 12th for para pickleball, which is a modified version of pickleball for people in wheelchairs or disabilities. And Mark, you know that my company loves to work with people with disabilities or with amputations. And the exciting thing, again, about this sport is that, yes, people with disabilities or amputations can play this sport and still be active, and so that's one of the main reasons why I enjoy promoting pickleball to my clients, because no matter what their stage in life is or how what their condition is physically, they can still play.
That's right.
I am talking next week with a gentleman who is a expert, or not an expert, but he has helped coordinate para ice hockey.
Oh, nice!
Wow.
And they're on sleds.
Oh, very cool.
They're kind of on sleds, but yeah, they get out there and they do their thing.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. And if people that are paralyzed or whatever you want to call it, or they have handicaps or challenges, we say these days, not handicaps, challenges, can do it. So can I. So can anybody.
That's right. That's right.
And just as soon as I get my blood pressure down and all that stuff, but hey, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Well, we've had people. I do a lot of things like with diabetes and all, and we've had people that have had medical issues start playing pickleball, and their A1Cs have come down, their blood pressures come down, they've lost a lot of weight, and it's a game that they could start from where they're at. Whereas with like mountain biking, we barely get off the parking lot here at Holder Cruz Park, and they're already dying. So with pickleball, they could start really easy. So we actually have a lot of people with different kind of health issues that start pickleball, and then they improve.
I was very, very happy this morning. My blood pressure was 186 over 97.
And that's improvement.
That's improvement.
Okay.
You don't understand what it was before. So.
Okay. Well, you're heading the right direction then.
I'm heading the right direction, but yeah, maybe I get involved with pickleball soon.
There you go.
Sounds like something fun.
We'll be a doubles team.
So are there pickleball events coming up? Oh, okay, you're on.
Yeah.
You're on.
All right.
That para one is probably that's in August 12th,
Right.
just a week before the grand opening for Pain Solutions. That's probably the soonest one, but we play pretty much every night, Sunday through Thursday nights. And, we have a beginner's class on Wednesday nights. We're just starting that actually Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. So this is at the Drayson Center in Loma Linda. But like I said, they play in Yucaipa and Redlands. They teach beginners there. They teach all over the place.
Oh, fantastic. And, I think that you need to have a pickleball demonstration at your grand opening.
Okay, well.
I'm planning on being there, so, I'm the
right.
ambassador for the USAPA. That's the USA Pickleball Association. So I'm actually the local ambassador for Loma Linda.
And since I'll have a sound system there, I'll do the MC work.
You can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, weighing in at 180, Dr. the Ninja of Pickleball.
You say the word, I'll mark off a spot on the parking lot.
Okay.
Dr. Ernie Medina.
We could set up a miniature court and then just
right.
have a little bit, the dinking, we call it dinking. That's where we do most of our playing. We don't stay on the baseline and rally like a tennis rally. We actually hit the ball, then we move close to the net. So we can set something up like that. That's only 7 feet on either side of the net.
I have the name for my pickleball team.
What's that?
The Inca Dinka Doos.
The Inca Dinka. There you go.
Like it.
That's good. That's good.
They have wiffle ball teams, I would imagine.
Yeah. We have doubles teams. We have men's doubles, mixed doubles. We were trying to set up some leagues in the area.
Pickleball relay.
Pickleball relay.
That could work. If they hit 3 or 4 times and they score 2 points, and somebody else jumps in while the ball is still going.
Oh, that's like around the world in ping pong, right?
Around the world in ping pong. That's right. Yeah.
I haven't thought about that, but that would
that'd be a cool game.
That would be cool. We could do that.
See, I have not played one lick of pickleball. I'm already redoing it.
We'll have to try that.
Welcome to me. Okay. But I want to, before we go and we have a few more minutes left, I want to refocus now on Pain Solutions Medical Massage. And Dante Lucma Madrid, who is a multi-talented, now I find out, DJ.
Oh, thank you.
And massage therapist. And we don't want to indicate he's doing anything else. Massage therapist. And he sings and he teaches. And he is a Renaissance man. I
wear many hats.
And plays pickleball. Anyway, his business has moved. They're going in a new direction. They're having their grand reopening. And so write this date down on your, write it across your windshield. If you haven't cleaned your windshield inside, you can do it there. You can text it to yourself. It's real simple. It's on a Sunday. There's not too many Sundays in August. I think there's only 4. And I think he's on the 3rd Sunday in August.
Yep, August 19th.
August 19th. 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., real easy to find. Redlands Boulevard. If you're headed east, a couple blocks before you get to the Denny's, in the same shopping center with the sushi place, which I don't know the name of.
Chemo Sushi.
Chemo Sushi. And but Chemo Sushi will be closed. But they will have some wonderfully good food. Carne asada fries.
Oh, yeah.
Fries galore, it's called. It's a truck. Anytime they serve food off a truck, it's got to be, number 1, good for you, and number 2, bad for you. It's good food, bad for you. No, just kidding. But they're going to have chair massages, which will be nice.
Yeah.
3 or 4 chairs there, maybe.
Yep. So come out, and we look forward to seeing you there.
And raffle prizes?
Yes. Raffle prizes from local vendors, our neighbors from the Nail Box, from the Leaves of Autumn Nail Salon, and the Kempo Karate Studio next door, the 5.0 Kempo Martial Arts.
Yeah, they have a saying. I was trying to remember what their saying is on the outside of the karate studio. I was trying to remember. I can't remember it now. But anyway, they'll have to come on.
Wax on, wax
off? No, it's like it's a karate thing or something like that. I forget what it was. And then, of course, I'll be DJing there. RSVP Entertainment, Mobile DJ Services is actually the name of my company. I don't DJ that much anymore. It's just kind of for my friends and for fun anymore.
Well, then I appreciate
used to be in it full time and all this professional equipment, and I have it all still, but I'm kind of busy with 4 radio stations.
Yeah,
and
I hear you.
Doing other stuff. And so, it is a great thing to go to and to visit. And what are, you do a lot in Pain Solutions with the amputees as well?
Yes. So we recently finished our research study, and we've come to the conclusion this is a really powerful thing for that demographic. And so Pain Solutions, starting at the end of this year, has decided to donate 10% of our earnings starting at the end of this year to patients with amputations who cannot afford prosthetic devices in third world countries.
Wow, that's incredible. That's really incredible. That's a neat deal.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, so we're going to kick that off later on this year, and I'll keep you guys posted on when all of that goes down. But we're so excited to be working with the disabilities community and people with amputations.
And if you're interested in his services, Dante is highly recommended from me. You can go to painsolutions.us, painsolutions.us, or 347-0330, 347-0330 in the 909 area code.
That's us.
It's on Redlands Boulevard, and what's your closest cross street there? It's right on the corner.
Kendall Road and Redlands Boulevard.
Kendall Road and Redlands Boulevard. Around the other side of them is State Street, and you have a great Italian deli place there.
Oh, yeah.
And the Breakfast Shack and a pizza place there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their other parking lot they share it with. And then they've got the Chemo Sushi. So it's really easy to find, just a couple blocks away from Denny's. And if you want the real address and you want to recommend and remember the address, it's 501 just
like the jeans.
Just like the jeans. 501 Redlands Boulevard, Suite G. 501 Redlands Boulevard. I could come up with some other things like 501s. What's good for you is good in your jeans. Remember, it's 501. I don't know. We're going to come up with a jingle on that.
Okay.
We're going to come up with a jingle for that. Pain Solutions, medical massage. I've been sitting here having fun talking about pickleball and massage with a good friend of mine, Dante Luke Madrid, who's been here for a few times. We're going to have him back. And he's going to bring his guitar.
All right.
That's right.
And
then Dr. Medina, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
From Loma Linda Medical School. He is not retired.
School of Public Health.
School of Public Health. Loma Linda School of Public Health. I'm Mark Westwood for On the Mark on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 and 102.3 FM. We'll be back next week right here, same time, same bat channel.
Thank you for listening to On the Mark Live, hosted by Mark Westwood, a weekly show about this station, hot topics, local motion, and the world around us. Join us next week as we hop back on the KCAA Express for another ride on the Mark.
Pain Solutions Medical Massage is gearing up for their grand reopening. Join KCAA in welcoming Pain Solutions, moving forward in a new direction. Fries galore will be on hand serving food. Get exclusive discounts. Try out the free massage chair and free raffle prizes. Pain Solutions grand reopening Sunday, August 19th at 501 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands, starting at 2 p.m. For more information, call 909-347-0330. Pain Solutions re-grand opening August 19th.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM.
Or visit BigLou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Amazon has everything for back to school. Zebra lunchbox? Check. Cool Adidas gear like t-shirts, shoes, and backpacks? Check. Triceratops folders and pencils? Check. Laser Cat t-shirts? Check. Get your back to school shopping done now at Amazon.com/back to school and enjoy free shipping on millions of items. No need to leave your home or hassle with crowds. Amazon.com. No better place to get everything back to school from A to Z.
NBC News Radio, I'm Angela Anderson. President Donald Trump again threatening a government shutdown over immigration.
Border security is national security. They are one and the same.
After a White House meeting with Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, Trump said it is time to get serious about border security. Trump is demanding several $1 billion for a massive border wall. He heaped praise on Conte's tough policies on immigration, called them bold, and said other European nations should follow suit. Charges will not be filed against 2 Minneapolis officers who shot and killed Thurman Blevins. Prosecutors made that announcement today after the release of several body cam videos of the shooting. They were interrupted once by activists who stormed the podium.
Law enforcement officers are...
And there's women there and a dog there. You have justified police...
Law officers are required to react quickly in tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving situations.
Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman says the decision was made after reviewing the videos, witness testimony, and forensic testing. He says evidence shows the 31-year-old Blevins had a 9mm semi-automatic handgun in his hand and refused multiple commands to drop it. Raging wildfires across California leaving a deadly trail. 8 people confirmed dead as crews battle the intense flames. NBC News reporter Steve Patterson says the temperatures aren't helping.
Some of these guys have been going for 24 to 36-hour shifts, 100-degree heat in the forecast, along with red flag winds later on this week, continuing to fuel this fire.
The car fire near Redding, the largest, claiming 6 lives, including 2 firefighters, and has scorched nearly 99,000 acres. The Ferguson fire near Yosemite National Park has claimed the lives of 2 firefighters and burned through nearly 57,000 acres. Brett Kavanaugh getting some new support as he looks to become the next U.S. Supreme Court justice. Republican Senator Rand Paul is changing his tone, saying he will support the nominee. That's the latest. I'm Angela Anderson.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you always tired and worn out? Is it affecting your work and personal life? Well, South Pacific Sleep Lab can help you out. South Pacific Sleep Lab provides a personal study of your sleep patterns. With their trained specialists, they will diagnose your sleep habits and will give you a prognosis for getting a great relaxing night of sleep. South Pacific Sleep Lab has locations throughout Southern California, including Fontana, and will provide transportation to any of their locations at no cost to you. To find out more, give them a call at 844-SAD-5050. That's 844-SAD-5050. South Pacific Sleep Lab. Start resting easy and sleeping sound today.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
This segment of programming sponsored by Cybertime Network Communications. How's your internet? Feeling boxed in with the high costs of the internet? Ready for a better internet service? Then you're ready for Cybertime.
And now, it's For the People with Judge Herb Dodell.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show, For the People. Why is it called For the People, Gary?
Because it's for you,
No, it's
the
for
people.
It's for the people.
Well, I said for you,
That's right,
the people. You didn't let me finish.
But you paused.
I was trying to. It's a radio type of thing. You pause sometimes. You take a breath. It's for you.
Oh.
Pause. The people. There you go.
Well, you and I have kind of been developing some concepts to broaden the appeal. The purpose of the show obviously is to provide information to people who want to know about how the system operates. They watch a lot of TV shows, they hear all these legal terms, they don't know what it really means.
Yeah.
And nobody really ever bothers to give them a meaningful explanation. So we're going to take what I call the anatomy of a case. Anatomy,
We're going to like what?
It's like Gray's, anatomy.
Yeah, we're going to go to the morgue or something.
We are going to cut it up a little bit.
All right.
Let's say that.
Okay, cool.
But I thought what we should do, we started last week by talking about a real live criminal case.
Yes.
And I'm going to continue to do that. We'll develop more information, and as I showed you from this little concept thing that I did, we're going to talk about some of the legal terms now and give you a real explanation so that the public will know what some of these terms mean and how they fit in. Because at the end of the day, when we finish the case and we produce both sides, we're going to ask the public to make a decision, and that's why it's going to be called You be the judge.
You be the judge.
Yeah, because you're going to decide.
This is gonna be. This is like you're gonna. This is gonna be. Can we talk about it? Or
yes,
no?
you can. I already registered with the Writers Guild.
All right. I mean, the Judge Herb Dodell, is looking to put together a TV show here.
Yes, we are.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, some people are very excited about it, and I'm excited about it.
I am too. I am too for
because what it does is it brings the public into it as a participant.
Yeah.
In other words, you're not just sitting listening to some guy ramble for 55 minutes. Even with the great dialogue that I get from you, we're going to have some real dynamics.
Cool. Can I be the bailiff?
That's a definite maybe.
I'll cut my hair. I'll do everything.
No. It's your character.
Thank you. I am a character.
There's your character.
I am a character. Well, it's very exciting.
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take these cases. We'll have a new case every week. And it'll be a civil case one week, a criminal case the next week.
Cool.
Real live cases. And then during the course of the presentation from either side or from both sides, there'll be objections.
Okay.
And then I'll ask the audience to decide, should I sustain or overrule the objection? And they make a decision.
So the judge, so the people are going to judge too.
They're going to
be the judge.
They are. It's going to be like a non-jury trial.
Interesting.
And the audience is going to be able to vote on whether we should sustain or overrule an objection. And then what I will do is I'll announce that it's either sustained or overruled.
Are you going to let
and I can explain it.
All right, so hold on. You're going to let the audience is going to vote,
right.
But are you going to have the final say in it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if the audience
it's all make believe.
Okay, well I'm just asking.
Actually,
man.
it's not make believe. It's not.
I thought maybe you take the they said sustained and you can overrule that sustaining verdict that the audience gave us.
Well, no, it's for example when I'm going to start talking about.
Just trying to figure it out, Judge.
I'm starting to figure it out myself.
Okay.
But for example, if you watch a lot of TV shows, whether it's civil or criminal,
yeah,
people say objection, Your Honor, it's hearsay.
Right.
And the judge says sustained or overruled, and the public says, well, what just happened?
Yeah.
Now, they don't really know what hearsay is.
There's no explanation.
Yes, there is.
Well, no, I'm saying in the TV
that's right.
TV shows.
Well, because they're limited.
Right. Exactly.
We're gonna structure it time-wise so that we have an opportunity for the public to decide on legal issues.
I dig it.
Which are evidentiary issues, procedural issues, and then at the end of the show, we're going to ask them to decide whether or not, in a criminal case, whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. And they can vote on that. And then I'll decide whether they're guilty or not guilty.
And this is fictional from real cases.
No, they're real cases.
I said fictional from real cases. You're not
Yeah.
going to use like Charles Manson or whatever. I mean, you're not going to use names.
I can't use him.
He's dead. I forgot.
Yeah, he's not going to work.
He
He
ain't gonna
wanted
work.
too much.
Okay. Per diem?
He wanted me to hire these 6 women. I said, I'm not hiring 6
That's
women.
all he wanted? 6? That's interesting.
The bottom line is we're going to accomplish a lot of different purposes.
That's going to be very
You know
cool.
how it's going to be accomplished? We're going to educate the public as to what the system really is like.
Right.
And using the real words.
So they're
I'll
actually
explain all the words.
That's what I'm saying. They're actually going to be able to understand how the law system works, the inner workings of it, instead of just being a bystander, like, guilty, not guilty. They're going to be able to understand how to make judgment calls, certain terms, things like that. It's going to be the inner workings of the court system.
And if we do it live, which is what we hope to do,
Really?
We'll have a little button on the chair that 1 is guilty, then 2 is not guilty.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like Buzzy or something like that. Wake you up.
Well, look, nobody ever slept in my court that I know
I'm
of.
kidding, Judge.
I
I'm
look
kidding.
every now and again to see if anybody's sleeping back there. Generally not.
No, not even none of the small claims kit. When
No,
you're, I mean,
I'm loud.
You're loud.
I'm loud.
You're loud. Huh?
I don't let anybody sleep.
Oh God!
But I can't say that it hasn't happened.
It's happened, Judge.
It does. Some of these cases are not that exciting. How much more weeks do you want before you have to pay your rent? It doesn't wake everybody up and get them excited.
Well, this show sounds like it will. Though.
But on hearsay, for example,
yeah,
we'll use examples. Like you'll have a witness who's going to say something like, "Well, John told me that Bill did it." Bill's on trial. And then the objection, of course, comes from the other side. Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. And then I say, okay, well, is it hearsay? Is it not hearsay?
Well, is it hearsay? Somebody says that?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
But what's interesting about the hearsay rule, and it goes back to the 1700s in England, by the way, the hearsay rule is steeped in the principle that it's not necessarily trustworthy. And I'll explain that in a second.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Hopefully.
How about if John testified, okay, and then this guy comes on and says, John told me, and John testified to that, John told me he killed him or whatever, whatever he did, and then this guy comes on and says, yes, John told me about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
that John already testified to the fact that he said this statement.
Well, there are what's called exceptions to the hearsay rule.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
There are lots of exceptions to the hearsay rule. And I must tell you that many judges don't really understand the hearsay rule, because if you watch some of the rulings, they don't quite get it right.
Yeah.
The reality about hearsay is it's an out-of-court statement made by somebody.
Right.
That person is not in the courtroom, and if they're not in the courtroom, what's missing? Cross-examination. You can't cross-examine somebody who's not there. You may have a document that you may be able to use as an inconsistent statement or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the exception. So under the example that I gave you, I would sustain the objection as hearsay.
Right.
Unless he said that John said, Bill said to him, I did it. Well, that might be an exception to the hearsay rule called an admission.
Okay.
Or a declaration against penal interest. And so there are ways to get it in. And the simple example that I gave just now, I would sustain that objection. They could rephrase it and say, but when you were talking to him, did he tell you A, B, C, and D? And if it's not necessarily hearsay, it comes in. There's lots of ways. Good trial lawyers know how to work the system.
Right.
It's like leading questions or opening statements. If you know how to do it, and you get that only from experience, really. You don't get that from textbooks or even a webinar or something. I mean, you may get some of it, but there are thousands of books that have been, literally thousands of books have been written on the hearsay rule.
Wow, that's wild.
Because you're keeping out evidence that may be significant.
Yeah.
I've told the story, I think, about the ladies that one lady accused the other of spraying her with pepper spray. And the respondent said, pepper spray? I don't know anything about pepper spray. I don't even own any pepper spray. And so we're going to talk about the police report right after the break.
All right. It's For the People, Judge Herb Dodell. If you have any questions or want to ask him any questions, you can email him at askjudgeherb@gmail.com. We'll be back with For the People right after this.
1050 AM KCAA. Herb Dodell is a lawyer and a judge for the people. Having served as a Superior Court judge, presiding over more than 9,000 cases, he has witnessed firsthand how complicated and corrupt the legal system can be. His goal is to show how things really work in the legal system so that people can navigate the legal system in the best way for them. Many people often feel marginalized by the legal system and are uninformed about how to proceed when unfortunate circumstances arise in their life. Judge Herb will pull back the curtain, lift the veil, so people can truly understand their rights, have access to top legal personnel that they can trust, and have knowledge about how things work so they can make better choices. Judge Herb isn't just knowledgeable. His integrity and spiritual values are truly what make him different. He cares about democratizing access and information for all and desires to turn on the light so the people, you, can benefit. For more information, email the judge at askjudgeherb@gmail.com. That's askjudgeherb@gmail.com.
Okay, we're talking about this case. By the way, it's a real case. I actually presided over this case. And many times people come in with police reports. Now, the cop is not there. But police reports often say something like, Mary told me that Louise said such and such. Well, that's clear hearsay. In this case, what was significant is there was no mention in the police report about pepper spray. And I said, well, if there was really an attack like that, why wasn't it mentioned in the police report? Normally, you keep those reports out because it deals with trustworthiness. The loss of the ability to cross-examine is significant. Because if you had that John came in and testified to that fact, that somebody else told them something, and that person is not here, how do you cross-examine that person? They're not here.
Yeah.
If they were, you could say, when was it? What time was it? Who was standing there? You know, did you make any notes of it, etc.? And you can, what they call, impeach that witness, and you affect the credibility of the testimony being offered by that witness who's not there. So, over the years, they developed a series of exceptions, and the exceptions are pretty logical and make the rule very pliable. And that's why judges have to decide. It's not a simple yes or no. You need to know more. For example, there's something called the business record exception. Keep that one in mind, ladies and gentlemen. It happens all the time.
Never heard of it.
Well, for example, let's say you want to introduce a document, a record from your business, an invoice or something like that, and you want to get it into evidence. Well, it's an out-of-court statement being offered for the truth. Therefore, it's hearsay, right?
Yeah.
Of course it's hearsay. However, if you can establish what's called a foundation, that's the legal term, foundation, you may be able to get it in. How do you get it in? You ask the custodian of that document. You say something like, okay, I want to show you Exhibit A. It's dated such and such and such and such from A to B.
Let me ask you a question. Custodian means the person
who has the document.
Okay, thank you.
May have worked for the company, maybe the bookkeeper, maybe the...
Just want to make that clear.
CFO, it could be anybody.
Right.
And so you say, okay, what's your job? You've got to lay this foundation. Oh, I'm the person who prepares all the invoices, okay? And how do you do that? Well, I take all of the paper and then they explain what it is. And you ask them the following question. Was this document prepared at or about the date that it bears? Because it's got a date on it. Yes, it was. And at the time that you prepared this document, were the facts that were contained in that document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? I'm doing the whole shtick here.
Do it.
And the answer is yes. And it was true and accurate at the time. And was this document prepared in the normal and ordinary course of business? These are the magic words.
Okay.
Yes, it was. Okay. I offered into evidence, objection, hearsay. What's the ruling?
Me? You asking me?
Yeah, I wanted you. You're a smart guy. Your father was a lawyer. You know the shtick.
I would say that, allow it in.
You're right. It gets in.
Thank you.
It gets in, even though it's hearsay.
Dad, thank you. Appreciate it from up in heaven. Good guess.
even though it's hearsay, it comes in under what's called the business record exception.
Okay. It sounded like it was able to get in there.
The way I presented it, it sounded like the answer was already in the question.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it doesn't happen exactly that way in the courtroom. The dynamics are a little bit different.
Okay.
And you have the document in your hand and you wave it and you do whatever you do to try to get whatever the point is across to the jury.
Okay.
So that's one.
All right.
What if there's a document that says, I was talking to the defendant and he told me he did it? Admissible or not?
Say it again.
The defendant, outside of court, somebody said the defendant said to them
that he did
it. Does it get in? It's a serious confession, isn't it?
I would say that's inadmissible because it's that's hearsay for sure, I would think.
It's all hearsay.
Yeah, I would say that's inadmissible.
Wrong.
I was wrong. Okay, there you go.
Admissible.
Wow. So don't confess, you dopes. I should have got that one.
Well, about confessions, most people don't realize it, that lawyers always advise their clients not, in criminal cases, do not talk to the prosecutor and do not talk to the cops. Why is that? Because you don't want to tell the truth? No, because if you talk to 5 different cops in 5 different days, you're going to have some variations on that testimony.
Yeah.
And the more variation you have, the less credible it becomes. Well, didn't you say on such and such a date the light was red? Yeah. Well, now you're saying the light is green. That's impeaching that witness's testimony and credibility. Yeah. And so you got to be very, very careful. Don't give any statement. Do not talk to these folks at all. Don't let them convince you, look, if you really didn't do anything, you'll tell us about it. We're here to help you. They are not here to help you.
Let me just say one thing. And my dad, you brought up my dad. He was a criminal attorney here in Los Angeles for 30 years. And I hate to say this because I like the police and all that, and we need them. And, you know, I play golf with a couple of cops every now and then. He told me that the police are the biggest liars on the witness stand. Just saying. That's why you don't.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, that's what he told me. And he was a criminal attorney for 30 years here. That's what he said. I'm not saying all cops are liars. I'm sure he didn't think. He had a lot of friends that were L.A. County sheriffs and Malibu sheriffs, the whole thing. But he said the police are the biggest liars on the stand as far as, like, you know, prosecution goes. They really are. That now, you know, I'm just telling you what he said, Judge.
Look, a lot of people have been convicted of crimes they didn't commit. That's not the first time that that's ever happened.
Right.
But cops are trained to interview. There are classes that they take.
Yes.
And most people don't know this either, so I'll mention it. Cops can lie to the prospective defendant. They could tell them all kinds of things.
Exactly.
Oh, you know, there's somebody in the, you know, your partner's in the next room, and, you know, they've already told us.
They were
that,
cop to it.
You know, and so there are techniques to get people to say things that are not necessarily true. In fact, those 5 guys that I think were arrested in Central Park for raping this woman, I think,
Central Park 5.
Runner, you know,
yeah,
that was all based on statements allegedly made to the police. Some of them are induced, some of them are coerced, some of them are just not accurate.
The point being, you don't talk to anybody.
Don't talk to anybody.
That's what you were saying, and I was just reiterating it.
I'm giving guidelines to anybody if they're in any kind of custody.
Do not
wait
speak.
For your lawyer to show up.
Yes, that's why you ask for a lawyer.
The lawyer will oftentimes speak for you. Say, well, what if my client said such and such and such and such? How would that affect our making a deal? Because it's all about making a deal.
Yeah.
Everything's about making a deal.
Of course.
And that's what's surprising about what's going on. Manafort's going to trial tomorrow.
Yes.
And you'd think by now, it doesn't sound like he's got much of a defense. You'd think by now he'd have made a deal. You know,
he's going down with the ship. He's going down with the ship.
You know what? This guy's probably going to go down with
the ship. He is. He is going to, for sure. He's on the Titanic. And
the other guy's another story.
Oh, Cohen?
Yeah, he's going to give a new meaning to that old show that I used to watch in the 60s called Flipper.
Flipper the dolphin.
Flipper the dolphin.
I love
Flipper. He's going to be Flipper. He's going to sing like a boy, as they used to say in the gangster movies.
He's going to sing, man.
But the point is, if you're talking about rules of evidence, that's what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
There's a whole semester, as I recall from law school, on rules of evidence. Because everything is decided based on what gets into evidence and what doesn't get into evidence. And I'm going to talk in a few minutes about some things that we've kept out of evidence that made a big difference or could make a big difference if the situation fits for you as it did for these other people. And so you've got the admissions. That gets in as an exception to the hearsay rule. You've got the business record exception. That gets in.
Yeah.
What if you're standing on the street corner, somebody is standing on the street corner and they see an accident and they yell out, "You passed the red light. You hit that car. You passed the red light." That person's not there. So it's a witness who didn't show up in court. Is it admissible?
If the guy didn't show up,
no, he's not there. It can't be cross-examined.
I would say that's inadmissible.
Well, it's admissible.
It is.
It's called the res gestae. R-E-S-G-E-S-T-A-I.
That doesn't sound like fair.
Well, it's because it's deemed to be spontaneous, and therefore it has greater credibility. It's the same thing with the person who's lying on the ground and they've been badly injured and they're about to pass. And as they're about to pass, they say something like, "The guy passed the red light."
Well, it's a dying declaration.
That's exactly what it's called. That's exactly what it's called.
I know.
A dying declaration. It gets into evidence. And so if you're a participant and you're watching a show and somebody objects on the grounds and you know what these exceptions are and you know what hearsay is, you're going to be far more educated and able to make the right kind of decisions along the way. Some of them are going to be disguised. We're going to throw, something in here and there to make it a little bit more confusing. But
sounds already confusing enough, Judge. I'm only 2 for 4.
But at the end of the day, you the audience, you the people, will have a pretty good sense of how trials really work. It's like opening statements. People say, well, so what? You get 20 minutes, a half hour.
That's a big thing.
To me, I think opening statements are among the most important things in any trial. There was a study done by the University of Chicago many, many years ago, I guess not so many years ago, in the 90s, I think it was done, that said that 90% of the juries decide cases based on the opening statement.
I believe it because you know what? It's the personalities of the lawyers.
And it's the drama.
And the drama. Well, it's the first thing they see. Is the first vibe they get. Like if they get a lawyer they like, more instant, more than, than whatever I'm trying to say, more than likely, they're going to go with the guy that they like, right?
Well, there's also the legal issues that involve opening statements. You can't just make a closing argument in your opening statement. You have to say what the evidence is going to show.
Yeah.
And so those of us who have been doing this for a long time, you almost start off with, and the evidence is going to show that John was standing on the corner, and the evidence is going to show that Mary was standing right next to him, holding his hand, and they had a box lunch. They were going to go to the park, and Mary said such and such. And if the objection is that you're arguing it, you just stop right there and say, and the evidence will show. The minute you say those magic words, the objections are usually sustained. Besides, it's an opening statement, and the court will give an instruction to the jury. Will say, do not consider what the lawyers are telling you now in this opening statement. It is not evidence. You're only allowed to hear the evidence. You'll hear that if you watch any show that has any length of time to it. You're going to hear the judge say that. You cannot consider what the lawyers say. The lawyers are not witnesses, and they'll make this little speech. And that's absolutely true.
But isn't a good lawyer with an opening statement golden for the client?
Yeah, good orators will make a big difference. And you're right. I've always thought about it and didn't want to accept it as a reality. But jurors oftentimes will decide cases based on extraneous things.
Yeah.
They like somebody, they don't like somebody.
Exactly.
When I told you the story, I had a case with the other lawyer. This was an arson case. The other lawyer was objecting to everything.
Right.
To everything. Stood up, sit down, every argument. The jury hated him. Hated this guy. When we got a verdict for a guy that probably burned it down, we got a verdict, and I talked to the jury afterwards. They said, this guy was so annoying. We had to sit here through this whole day listening to this guy, and it does make a difference.
There you go.
Charming works.
And made you a lot of dough. All right, we'll be back after this.
It wasn't so bad.
For the people, Judge Herb Dodell will be back after this.
NBC Talk Radio, 1050 AM, KCAA.
In his book, From the Trench to the Bench, Judge Herb Dodell demystifies the legal system, including both civil and criminal, the lawyers, the judges, and the process. As a judge, former deputy district attorney, and criminal defense attorney, he knows the legal system. He has the inside information that you need to pick a lawyer, and he's here to give it to you. No matter what you're facing that makes you think you may need a lawyer, Judge Herb will shed valuable light on your situation and reveal your best options and many secrets of how the judicial system actually works. To find out more about how the legal system really works, you can get your copy of Judge Herb Dodell's eye-opening book, From the Trench to the Bench, at Amazon.com.
In addition to the impression that a lawyer makes, and you can get a very charming, dynamic lawyer makes a 20-minute opening statement, that jury has heard it. They know what the case is about. And if you present it in a very persuasive way, they've already got an impression. Now, the rule is that you can reserve your opening statement if the other party has made one. I never did. I always felt you had to respond right then and there. As a criminal defense lawyer,
Yeah.
you can't let it sit until the case is there, prosecution case is over. By then, the jury's already heard only one side, and in almost every case that I've ever been involved in, it's the credibility of the witness that makes a difference at the end. Whether they like you or not makes a difference too. I had a client who was a wonderful. He and his wife were terrific witnesses. They were fabulous, and after the trial was over, and he really didn't have the best side of the case. The insurance company was right. It was an insurance coverage case. Insurance company was basically right. And one of the jurors at the end, I think she was the foreman. Yes, she was the foreman. Called me after the trial was over and said, would you like to see I kept notes of everything, and then jurors' notebooks. All the jurors get notebooks. They can write. And that's a telltale sign, by the way, for lawyers who have any experience. Watch when they're writing and when they're not.
Of course, I would think.
If they're writing down something, you just hit the home run, and you see they're all scrambling to write it down, you know you hit it.
Yeah.
If they're just sitting there stone-faced and not doing anything, you got to be a little bit more concerned. But everything deals with credibility, and so the more you can impeach somebody, and the legal word is called impeach, that's another exception to the hearsay rule. Let's say a witness is in court and says the light was red. But 6 weeks earlier, when they were being interviewed by somebody else, they said the light was green. Okay? You can now say, isn't it true, Mr. Jones, that 6 weeks ago when you were sitting at Starbucks talking to such and such, you mentioned to him or to her that the light was red. Did you say that? I don't remember. Well, you bring that person in. And if it's not collateral, in other words, if it's not inconsequential, then it comes in. There's a rule against what they call repetitive and cumulative evidence. If the jury's heard it once or twice before, you don't get to bring it in 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah.
Judge will cut you off.
Right.
And
Don't they?
so-
It's called stipulation, isn't it?
No, a stipulation is when parties agree.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They agree that they instead of having 50 witnesses come on, they stipulate that they're going to talk about the same thing.
Yeah, you can.
You know.
You enter into a stipulation all the time.
Right.
To reduce the amount of time it takes to try
Exactly.
the case.
Instead of going through each witness and testifying, they say we stipulate that all these people are going to say the same exact thing.
The way it reads is, it's stipulated between the parties that if John, Mary, Tom, Bill, and Harry were here to testify, they would say A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And the other party says, so stipulated, like it's dramatic, right? And that you don't need to bring those 5 people in.
That saves time.
And in the jury instructions at the end, just so you folks hear about jury instructions, the judge will say to the jury, the parties entered into a stipulation that this would happen, et cetera, et cetera. You are to assume that is accurate since the parties have agreed to it. That's a stipulation. But there's so many rules of evidence that you really have to be in the trenches, literally, to be able to accurately try a case. Not that you're going to win one because you're smarter or because you know the rules. There's so many variables, but this is an advantage or disadvantage to you, like leading questions. A leading question is basically got the answer in the question. Isn't it true that you were standing on the corner of 5th and Vine at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? That's a leading question.
No, I wasn't. I was playing golf at Encino, but that's okay.
You bring in the caddy. No, but seriously, that leading questions are great when you have your own client. Why is that?
Because you know the answer.
And they don't have to think.
Right.
The answer's already in it.
You know the answer already.
You were in Chicago on Thursday, weren't you? Yes, I was.
I was.
And therefore, but some of it gets by because the courts will say it's preliminary. That's the magic word. It's preliminary. It's foundational. It's the ones that are producing a definitive result of some kind that the courts are want to keep out. And on cross-examination, which is when you ask questions of the other side, that's the defense side's or the plaintiff side, depending on which side you're on. That's where you do it. The best, you know how much the best cross-examination is? The best questions for cross-examination? How many? 1. Get to the one issue, and on cross-examination you can lead the witness because they're not your witness. In fact, under California law, and I presume it's the same pretty much in most other states, You can call the other party as your witness and cross-examine them. You declare them to be a hostile witness.
Hostile witness.
That's right. So you can cross-examine a hostile witness.
Let me ask you something about that hostile witness. I never really got that. Okay, so you're cross-examine. You can even cross-examine your own client and call them a hostile witness or witness.
Not generally.
Well, I mean, it does happen. Okay, but I'm just saying it's part of the whole legal ease of the system, of the court system.
Well,
that if you're not getting like somebody wants it, let's say you have a witness. And all of a sudden, they change their mind on the testimony that they gave you. You can say, Judge, because I've seen this on Law and Order. That's why I know.
You don't say anything to the judge. You
Your
say
Honor.
something to the witness. You say,
no, but can you say, Your Honor, can I treat them as a hostile witness?
You can.
That's
the duck.
Is that the duck? I'm like,
shut up, Gary. That's my phone call. And I told you the story. I was sitting outside, and I have ducks at my house. And all of a sudden, I hear this duck sound, and I'm running to get to my phone. It was real ducks.
Oh, really?
They're quacking away.
They're quacking away. You thought you were quacking up?
They were, yeah. Good, Gary. That's why you're such a valuable addition.
Hey, what can I say?
But cross-examination is a real art.
Right.
And if you can get it done in one question or two questions, best. I once lost a case against a dentist, as a matter of fact. He was a nice man.
I hate dentists.
The problem was, I know you're going to the dentist. The problem was he was such a nice guy, he was up there too long. In other words, we were asking more than we probably should have been asking. The jury got to like him. You don't want to let that witness up there for too long because they make an impression. Look, when you prepare a trial, at least when I prepared a trial, and I think everybody that does this kind of work prepares it the same way, you list the witnesses, then you pick an order. What do you want? You want your strongest witness when?
I'd say last.
First and last.
First and first and last.
You want to?
You didn't give me a multiple.
Well, you want to squeeze. You want to squeeze the marginal ones in the middle.
Right. You want you want to come out hitting hard, and then you want to end on a hard note.
What I generally did in cases, most cases are decided with expert witnesses. Believe it or not, in almost every case, you're going to find an expert comes in and says, "In my opinion." And what you do is, I think we talked about this last week, we ask them this long hypothetical question. Assume this and assume that, and you just go on and read it. And they say, the last question is, and do you have an opinion? The objection is now made by the defense. It's an incomplete hypothetical. What should the ruling be?
Probably overruled.
It is overruled.
Yeah, because he's an expert.
If it's an incomplete hypothetical, add some points that you want to add when it's your turn.
Yeah.
That's why that objection, I never made that objection because it was a waste of time.
I'm 4 for 6 now. I'm just counting.
I'll throw you some softball questions. Yeah.
That's all right. I don't need any more, Judge.
Well,
my brain's melting already.
No, but leading questions for defendants is great because you don't give them a way out.
Yeah.
So isn't it true? They're going to say no or whatever they're going to say. If you have evidence to support what you're trying to get at, that impeaches them.
Well, isn't it the cardinal rule number 1 is never ask a question that you don't have the answer for?
That's the cardinal rule with one exception.
Okay.
The exception is you don't care what the answer is.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't care. You just want to hear them say something.
And your underwear is blue, correct?
And they say, well, let's take a quick break for me to go down the hall, and I'll let you know. But the fact of the matter is, you want to control. It's all about control.
Yes.
And in fact,
power.
So this lady said to me, I was getting back to the story about these wonderful clients who didn't have a great case. So she calls me up and she says, I got my jury notebook. Would you like to see it? I said, let me take you out to lunch. So I meet her for lunch.
Jenny's?
The book.
Okay, I'm sorry. John.
Hamburger Hamlet.
Oh, I remember those.
Hamburger Hamlet.
Really?
She was a high school principal.
Oh, okay.
Administrator.
Wow. Okay.
She was a very, very intelligent lady. Very nice person,
okay,
too.
Cool.
So she had some interesting notes in her book. She says, because it gets to the question of what impressions people make in front of a jury. She talked about my opposition, who I was fairly friendly with. We had gone back many years together. We got along socially, but not in the courtroom. It was always pretty. He had no integrity.
What?
Documents would disappear.
Your friend?
Yeah, documents would disappear. I mean, He had the choices, the smoking gun. He made sure to bury it. He did it on a regular basis.
He buried the smoking gun.
He was.
That's not cool.
But that's how he learned. He worked for a defense law firm that was famous for that kind of stuff.
That's terrible.
They would not tell you the truth about a lot of things. They would hide stuff. In fact, I'm going to tell the story about one of these in a minute. So anyway, so I got the jury notebook, and she describes this guy. He was a nice-looking guy, extremely well-dressed. And she says, he dresses really well, but I wouldn't trust him. That was in her notebook.
Wow.
She was observing him when he was making his opening statement or whatever it was, and she noticed that. And when one witness, and I never quite believed it, but she said, "He's cute. I wonder if he's married." That's in her notebook.
Really?
Yeah, and she liked the judge. So I called the judge, who I knew, and I said, I got the juror's notebook from the foreperson, and she said, it's a lot of interesting things. You want to have lunch? Not the Hamburger Hamlet. It's across the street from the courthouse.
Okay.
So I took her to lunch, and we laughed about what these notes were.
Well, what did they say about you?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
I guess that's good.
But I won. I didn't care.
I'm saying that must have been good. How about the judge? What did they say about the judge?
They liked her.
Okay.
Well, she said she was a very charming lady.
Yeah.
She really is. She is a very charming lady. She's got a great sense of humor and nice personality, unlike some others who are awful. In fact, I just got a package today from a judge friend of mine. I'm going to invite him on the show. In fact, I mentioned it to him one time. He's a big fan of Lincoln.
Oh, really?
And he sent me this article that he had written on how good a trial lawyer Lincoln was.
That would be great.
Most people don't know that Lincoln was a great trial
lawyer.
lawyer.
I know. I studied Lincoln in American history, and yeah, he was a great
there's some
orator.
great lines.
Yeah, he was.
It was attributed to him as a great statement. When you have the facts, pound on the facts. When you have the law, pound on the law. When you haven't got either, pound on the table.
That's a great statement.
He said that, supposedly. I wasn't there.
Well,
that's hearsay.
That's hearsay. Is it overruled or sustained?
Well, I'll get to another exception to the hearsay rule. And it's a great story. It was an accident case in Van Nuys where the doctor for the insurance company, turned out to be a fraternity brother of mine, I didn't know it at the time, testified about the trigeminal nerve. It's one of the nerves, one of the 12 cranial nerves.
Okay.
And so I lived in Studio City then. So I ran home during lunch, and I had a book called Gray's Anatomy, like the show.
Yeah.
And I went and looked it up, and he called it a sensory nerve, and it was a motor nerve. So I ran back to court, for lunch, and I'll tell you what happened when we got back to court right after the break. And by the way, a lot of these stories are in the book. It's called From the Trench to the Bench: Navigating the Legal System and Finding Your Spiritual Path Along the Way. You'll learn a lot of entertainment in there, as well as a lot of information.
On Amazon, Amazon.com. All right.
Did you ever meet a lawyer that was for the people? Someone who had the best interests of the people at heart? Herb Dodell has been a lawyer for more than 50 years and has been a Superior Court judge for 9 years, having presided over more than 9,000 cases. In this show, he will reveal the secrets of how things really work in the legal system, so you can maximize your position and benefit most when you're in trouble and need someone on your side to simplify the process for you. For more information, email the judge at askjudgeherb@gmail.com. That's askjudgeherb@gmail.com.
So I go back to court for the 1:30 break. By the way, we get an hour and a half every lunch break.
We know, Judge, if you've ever been in court.
It's an hour. I don't know why, but you get an hour and a half. So I go back, and he's still on the stand, and I bring the book, Gray's Anatomy, and I say to him, would you say that this book is the authoritative work on the anatomy of the human being? What was he going to say? It's a book they give you in medical school. And so he said, yeah, I said, it's pretty much authoritative. Oh, yeah. and I turn to the page with the trigeminal nerve on it, and it says exactly the opposite of what he had testified to.
Wow.
So that's hearsay, isn't it? A book is a hearsay.
Yeah.
You can't cross-examine the book.
Right. They can't tell.
But if it's an authoritative source, you can do that. You can take any book, as long as you establish the foundation that it's the authoritative work on the subject.
Which means the facts are real in the book?
Well, it comes from such a reliable source that it gets past the argument that hearsay is basically unreliable.
Okay.
Untrustworthiness is the primary issue in the admissibility or the non-admissibility of hearsay, or that's another one of the exceptions. And so you get lots and lots of exceptions. Even experts. This is an interesting fact for the people too.
Yeah.
An expert could talk about other people, other experts, whatever. It would be wild, and you can't cross-examine any of those people. They're not there. Anything else? Does it get in? Yes.
Okay.
Why does it get in? Because it's the basis of the expert's opinion. You can attack the expert in other ways, and I do it in a different kind of way, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But the fact is, they can say that, yeah, they relied on ABC. A lot of them come up with what we call junk theories, scientific theories. Well, the moon was moving at so many speed, and blah, 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 blah. And the objection to that is speculative. That's another objection. It's speculation. Right. It calls for speculation. And the argument is it's junk science.
Right.
And there's Supreme Court cases, Kelly Fry and the Daubert cases, go back a long way and say, you know what? You can't get in the junk. Unless you can establish that it has reasonable credibility in the community, it's not going to get in. And so a trial is filled with ups and downs. Judges, some of them are not too smart, because I've mentioned it before. A lot of, I've known some judges that intellectually they were challenged all the time. But they got the job. Why'd they get the job? They knew somebody.
Yeah.
Or they saw there was an opening in an election and a whole bunch of people, gang prosecutors usually, they know nothing about the civil law. They're running for the job. They put up some money. They do the billboards. They got people knocking on signs on your front lawn, and they get elected. These people are not competent. Some of them are not. Some of them are great. Some of them are brilliant.
It's just like everything.
But you don't know. Look, it's Forrest Gump.
I'm telling you, it's just like everything in society, Judge. There's going to be a certain amount
I'll throw the spiritual hook to this one.
Go ahead.
You get who you're supposed to get.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
And if you get a really stiff, you earned it. You got him or her.
Speaking of spiritual, what the Paul Manafort thing? Okay, because this is happening. This is happening tomorrow. It's starting tomorrow. 5 witnesses have been granted immunity. What do you think this whole just your personal opinion? I mean, it's not a political thing
I'm not
here.
political anyway.
We're not talking. But what's your sense of what's going to happen to Paul Manafort?
First of all,
and where the chips are going to fall. I'm curious as you being a judge.
Well, first of all, immunity carries with it the almost built-in cross-examination. What you do is you say, you know what, you were facing 35 years in the state prison, and you're going to do a weekend.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? You don't say how did it happen. To answer your question about not asking a question about why, you don't want an adverse witness to keep on talking. You want to keep those questions short. Yes and no answers. You don't want them to explain anything.
So do you think the defense for Manafort's when they have?
I don't think he has a defense.
No, I'm just saying when they cross-examine the people that have immunity, are they going to go after them? You think?
Of course they will. Have to.
Okay, but I mean hardcore,
anywhere they can.
Okay.
What I did many times, I remember one guy. I took his deposition. He was an engineer of some kind.
Yeah.
And what I did before the deposition is I got records of all the testimony he's given in other cases. There's we used to call the jury sheets. They kept track of how many times these people testified.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to hone in on, I said, now let's see. You testify, only about 5% of your cases go to trial. Would you say that's right? He said, yeah, that's right. That's about right. And so, but you get hired to do all these opinions beforehand, don't you? Yes, I do. And how much do you get per opinion? I get $500. And I noticed in the jury sheets that you testified 20 times last year. testified. So that means that's only 5%. So the other 95% didn't, and you were getting $500 per. I just ran the numbers. I said, so you made $1,400,000 testifying for the insurance company.
Wow.
Made a big impression.
Of course it would.
I said, so you don't find anything wrong with anybody on the other side. And so that's another form of cross-examination, because the key words are motive, interest, and bias. That's the magic words. If you can show they had a motive, oh, that's your girlfriend, isn't it? Yeah, well, that's why you were saying what you don't.
Right.
One of the arguments, by the way, is called argumentative. You can't argue with the witnesses.
Yeah.
So one of the objections is you're arguing with the witness. Okay, I'll speak nicer.
You have to speak differently, right?
Yeah, but as far as Manafort is concerned, I think he's gone.
You think he's gone, huh?
It's called a paper case. They don't really need too many of the witnesses other than to confirm things. So they got all these documents. The question is whether those documents are going to get in. They're going to get in. Somehow they're going to get in.
Isn't it crazy that, hold on, he was, and I'm not being political here, I'm just making a statement. He was Donald Trump's campaign manager during the most important part of the campaign.
That's what they say.
During the Republican National Convention, before that and right after that, and then he bailed out. I mean, this guy's going to go to jail for years. I mean, maybe not of a collusion type thing, but
he may get a pardon.
Oh, what would you think? Okay, let me ask you a question here. If Donald Trump pardoned Manafort, if he got found guilty, what do you think would be the next step Congress would do towards Trump, if anything?
Well, I think a lot is going to depend on the midterms, and it depends on who takes over control.
Okay.
In terms of impeachment, the public doesn't know necessarily. Impeachment is actually in form of a letter of impeachment. It's issued by the House of Representatives. The House does that.
The House does this. Okay.
But you have to get a 2/3 conviction in the Senate, and depending on who's controlling the Senate, determines the outcome of what the impeachment will be. If the Republicans maintain control of the Senate, or the Democrats don't get 60 out of the 100, they probably can't do that anyway. I don't think mathematically they can. He'll never get impeached. He'll get impeached, but he won't be convicted.
But what a stain.
It'll have a very strong, I think,
yes,
personal opinion. A lot of people are going to say, what is this? Why is this guy getting a pardon? It's his own guy.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't know if all of his charges against him are federal cases. If there's any state violations in there, the same thing with Michael Cohen. If there's a state allegation, in other words, grand theft is usually a state complaint.
Right.
And so if there's a state conviction, or if there's a conviction of a state offense, that's not pardonable.
Well, he ain't going to pardon Michael Cohen, that's for sure. I mean, that ain't happening. But the crazy.
I don't think they're going to be spending any evenings together.
No, and I don't think Michael Cohen's going to need pardoning. I think they're going to give him full immunity. And man, I mean, I'll tell you one thing, Judge. I believe this is all coming down the wire now with the investigation and the Manafort trial and the elections and the Supreme Court nominee. Man, I tell you, the fall is going to be.
It's like Tucker Carlson says, this is an interesting time.
It's going to be really interesting.
I listen to the conservatives, too.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I listen to both sides because I'm fascinated by what's going on.
Right.
As a student of political science, which I was, this is fascinating. There are so many earmarks of authoritarianism, and there are so many earmarks of people fighting for the democratic principles for which this country was founded. There's a real struggle going on, like Roger Stone. When we interviewed Roger Stone.
Yeah, last week we ran it, actually. You were on vacation in Puerto Vallarta.
I was.
How was it?
Fabulous. It's hot. It was so hot. You could fly. You could fly eggs on the pavement.
Wow.
I took my shoes off to get into the pool, and it was like hot.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, like Roger Stone says, they're all in this together.
Yeah.
And it's all about politics. In fact, I communicated with my fraternity brother, who's a U.S. senator, and he says he might be willing to do an interview on the show.
Which is?
I don't know. I got to come up with a subject. No, I got to make a subject up that is interesting to him. But he did call me back
Oh, that's good.
And we've been friends 50 years. And so I said, I would like you to be on my show.
That'd be great. That'd be
So
great to get
we're
his
gonna
opinion. Is he a Democrat or Republican?
He's a Democrat, and he's the ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee.
Oh, my God. We have to get him on.
Ranking guy. Third term. He's going to be a third-term senator.
I know who it is, but I can't say.
Well, he's a terrific person.
That's great.
Oh, I mentioned his name actually when we interviewed Stone.
Oh, you did, right?
Yeah, he was saying all these things about all the congressmen and senators. I know this guy very, very, very well.
Say his name then. Say his name.
His name is Ben Cardin.
Yeah, Ben Cardin.
Yeah, he's a senior senator from Maryland.
Maryland, right? Yeah.
He's in it for all the right reasons. So when I read about all the stuff that goes on, I said, that's not Ben. It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah, family man, totally dedicated, same old house, nothing fancy, nothing presumptuous about him. And he's really motivated and dedicated to do the right thing. That's all he's there to do, is do the right thing.
That's good. We need more of that.
So we try to get interesting guests. I'm trying to get some interesting people.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the TV show, too. That's going to be very cool.
Well, let's see if somebody wants to buy it.
You be the judge with Judge Herb Dodell.
Well, it's a great show. I think people will enjoy it because they participate.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah, you can be.
And you can ask softball questions.
Yes,
you can read the verdict. You can be the bailiff and read the verdict.
I want to. I can't wait.
We'll think of something. We'll think of something creative.
Do I have to dress in like a bailiff? Can I just be like what, in a tie-dye shirt?
We once did a sizzle reel of a show that we were going to do, and the bailiff came in wearing one of these toy guns.
Oh, great!
And it looked so obvious. It was like a BB gun.
Of course, that's
but,
a pilot for
saving
you.
on the props.
Exactly.
I gotta go out to get a real gun.
Don't worry, I'll bring a bong in or something on the side. Right.
Maybe we'll have a drug case in your honor.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love you. I'd love to do a good cocaine case or something.
We have some of those.
Yeah, well, I haven't done cocaine in 25 years, Judge, just to let you know. Knock on wood.
Has it worn off yet?
Barely. All right, we got to go.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week.
Hey, if you want to get a hold of the judge, you have a question to ask the judge, email him, askjudgeherb@gmail.com. Also get his book, From the Trench to the Bench, now available on Amazon.com. And also, one last thing, YouTube videos. Yes, go to Judge Herb Dodell YouTube channel and check out. We've got like over 30 videos now.
Yeah, we do.
We have one on weed, marijuana, the legal ramifications of it.
I did that one for you.
Thank you. And also Judge's Chambers, which I thought was very cool.
With the private toilet.
With the private commode. All right, listen, we got to go. All right, Judge, I'll see you next week.
Okay, see you next week.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.